Give me my kid, will you, mister?
Huh?
If you finish trampling on him, that is.
Now, that is exactly 60 pence with the tip.
Forget it.
It's the right amount, truly. I take this trip every day.
Not necessary.
Oh, how kind. I'm in the rag trade.
Ah, buy or sell?
I steal. I steal designs from people like Dior, Cardin, Givenchy. And I send them to my boss, Mr. Sam Fingelman of New York, who makes them up in very cheap materials and brings the Rue Saint-Honoré to Klein's basements. Well, in the past 2 days, you have picked me up in the rain, given me tea, bought me lunch, and lured me to this hideaway with the intention, I presume, of getting me into bed for what you Americans so charmingly call a quickie. Is that a fair resume so far?
Why?
Well, I don't want to make an international incident out of this, but it's more natural for me this side. We always started this way.
Perfectly. So listen very clearly, because this is the last thing I will ever say to you. Make a reservation!
Come on, help me clear the table. Here. Hey, what are you doing on the floor, kid? Act like you got good sense. Irene Payson got back from Denver today.
She did? Well, what all did she do?
But I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes.
I've been looking for a job all day, and these shoes are new. I just got them this morning, and they're giving me a blister.
I'm gonna get me one of those fancy negligees and a pair of gold high-heeled slippers with the fur pom-poms on them, or whatever you call them.
Why are you acting like this, man? Why don't you just calm down now? Just go home. Tell me what to do.
At the close of Friday's meeting, we were discussing Mr. Harding's problem concerning his wife. You mean there's not a man here who has an opinion on this matter? Patients aren't allowed in the nurse's station.
Well, I just wanted to turn...
When you're outside, we'll discuss whatever problem you have, okay? What you probably don't realize is that we have a lot of old men on this ward who couldn't hear the music if we turned it lower. The business of this meeting, Mr. Cheswick, is therapy. And if we send him back to Pendleton or we send him up to Disturbed, it's just one more way of passing on our problem to somebody else. Now calm down. The best thing we can do is go on with our daily routine. Right?
Max! Don't!
George, can you come into my office for a minute?
Right.
Barbara, is Tommy around anywhere?
I think so.
I'd like to see the two of you for a moment. But he's got about 8 minutes of a bank robbery that is absolutely sensational. Authentic stuff, actually shot while the robbery was going on. Well, we'd open each week's segment with that authentic footage, hire a couple of writers to write some story behind that footage, and we've got ourselves a series. When I took over this department, it had the worst programming record in television history. This network hasn't one show in the top 20. This network is an industry joke. Did you see the overnights on the network news? It has an 8 in New York, a 9 in LA, and a 27 share in both cities. I see Howard Beale as a latter-day prophet, a magnificent messianic figure inveighing against the hypocrisies of our times, a strip Savonarola Monday through Friday that, I tell you, Frank, could just go through the roof. I'm talking about $130,000 minutes. Do you want to figure out the revenues of a strip show that sells for $100,000 a minute? One show! I'm interested in doing a weekly dramatic series based on the Ecumenical Liberation Army, and I'll tell you right now, if the first show has to be a 2-hour special on Mary Ann Gifford. All right. So what do you want to do?
I don't know now. You want to go to another movie? So let's go see The Sorrow and the Pity.
Oh, come on. We've seen it. I'm not in the mood to see a 4-hour documentary on Nazis.
Come
And you
on,
know something
vision.
else?
You know, you're so egocentric that if I miss my therapy, you can only think of it in terms of how it affects you. Oh, God, what a dumb thing to say, right? I mean, you say it, you play well, and then right away, I have to say you play well. Oh. George went to the union, you see, to get his free turkey because the union always gave George this free turkey at Christmas time because he was shell-shocked, you know what I mean, in the First World War. Who cares? Who cares?
Next thing you know, we'll find you keen and peachy, you know. Next thing you know, he's got his hand on your ass.
You've always had hostility towards David ever since I mentioned him. Alvy, you're the one who never wanted to make a real commitment. You don't think I'm smart enough. We had that argument just last month, but don't you remember that day? See